Me and you. Yes, this is Paul Max C, and I'm doing another review tonight. It is QBERT for Atari 2600, and I remember being very pleased with the gameplay on this back in the day. One viewer once made a comment like how I always hold the cartridge, but there is a good reason why. First of all, we're collectors. We want to see different compare label condition. And here I can tell, I talked about gluing my labels before, and here's a good reason why I bought a glue stick and tried to do a better job. Look at how I've got glue coming out of the edges there, and there's like a smudge going on in here. And that smudge is by not being careful and just getting some glue in there and smashing it down. These Parker Brother cartridges often get that label flapping up and over, correct, guys? But this is fine. There's some wear there, but look, man, I mean, I've been collecting a long time, and it doesn't all have to be perfect for me. But I do like having, I gotta have some kind of label. I've got maybe 2, 3 cartridges with no labels, but I gotta have some kind of label. Do you know I found the Halloween with no label and garage sale kind of thing, and I sold it for $50, but it's actually the rare one that was, genuine, but not included with the label. And the guy I bought it from made his own neat label, and I sold it. On the other hand, how many collectors want to buy the no label one? Sure, it's rare, but it's also, I don't know, kind of boring. Anyway, I'm going to put in QBERT, difficulty B, and this plays really well. What it's missing, as you guys probably know, is the characters that kind of travel underneath on the bottom and cause you some trouble. You do get one green character here that I think you can touch and stop him from turning your colors back. But those guys who travel in the underneath, who I always had a tough time negotiating around, they're not in this version, but you already know that, don't you? I don't have a big funny commentary on today's QBERT. I've had one of those days, I'm not even drinking at all today, but since this day began, I've been saying the wrong stuff on the internet. Saw a guy I haven't seen since high school in 32 years that I've been wanting to see for a long time, and he showed up on our high school Facebook page, and I thought it would be cool if I posted right there in the comments what he wrote in my yearbook our senior year. But he kind of wrote some like dirty stuff, and like his family members saw it, and just haven't talked to this guy in 32 years, and first thing I hear from him is, dude, can you erase that comment? I also posted a joke on Facebook that I ended up deleting because it seemed a little inappropriate. I made it up. Oh, I just died. The joke I made up was, what do you call it if King Kong were to start humping the Statue of Liberty? And my answer was, statutory rape. Well, it was pointed out to me by Wallace Lang and some others that might be inappropriate, even though it was a funny pun. Now, statutory ape may not be so inappropriate and more clever, so there you go. Anyway, then I did my Popeye review, and I was getting kind of silly in that one. And I think it's just how I act normal in this review. Even though I just told you some of the stupidest things that I did all in one day. Anyway, about QBERT, what more can you say? It just plays so great. I remember really digging this when I was a kid. You get into a rhythm with a joystick, and I love the ColecoVision version and the Nintendo version, but you always run into that control problem. Even now, I'm not quite used to the controls like I used to be. There's where you have to double up on the colors. But once you get used to your controls and you don't even think about it, basically if you just move left, you go left up diagonal. And if you just move right, you drop down. And if you want to go upright, you just push up. And you can't get around having QBERT be, oh, I always remember when you get that extra man there and it makes that nice noise. This was the pattern I always did when I was a kid. You know, this has that play one more time feel all over it. It's a fair game. I'm playing on difficulty B right now. If difficulty A made it so that those extra green characters that we're not seeing, that we're missing, like, oh, I died again. I'm not playing very well, sorry. If it brought those other characters into the game, I would probably do difficulty A for the challenge of it. Sorry, my phone's sideways. I've been taking some crap for that lately, too. But I do know on difficulty A, you get those red balls dropping in. And I would think if we're going to have a score challenge and stuff, you got to make the difficulty hard. I can appreciate the challenge. Very often I write down 2 scores. I let myself know, okay, I wrote down this score for difficulty B, or I wrote down this score for difficulty A. But I think I'm doing B just because you want to see how far this game was programmed. I don't think I've ever gotten to where you have to switch the color 4 times. And I've already died foolishly a few times. Oh, the snake didn't jump like I thought he would. Well, I'm out of practice. I like to think I was once pretty good at QBERT, and I could easily get good again. Oh yeah, I remember this. It's really only just coming back to me, the control. But I still say the control is better than the ColecoVision, even though the ColecoVision looks beautiful, and NES. Now I'm getting into the rhythm of the control. I think they should be proud of themselves, whoever did QBERT from Parker Brothers. I mean, us poor Atari players, we're proud now, but we were always just dealing with what the Atari didn't have compared to your ColecoVision, or maybe even Intellivision friends. Although I always thought Atari was faster than Intellivision. It was just always... I really started appreciating Atari a little bit later because I realized just going for scores and getting that arcade experience. And by then I had other systems to satisfy that need to see more screens and more graphics. But as an Atari kid back then, I just remember feeling kind of always bummed that it's like, I only have Atari. That's what you would say. I only have Atari. It's like saying I only have PS3, which that's my story now. I only have PS3. I don't have PS4 or PS5. I understand I don't think PS5's out yet. By the way, I really like my PS2 a lot because PS1 and PS2 has so many of those compilations that have a bunch of arcade hits on one. Oops. Damn, that's game. And so I do a lot of those. I've got Namco, number 4. It's got Assault. And if you got the right controller from Pelican, you can get your double stick going on Assault and play a really nice arcade version. So I got I got your Namco museums. But in the PS2, sorry, this is turning into a different kind of review, but I just love those Namco museums and any other game that gives you a bunch of arcade hits on one. Midway's Treasures 1, 2, and 3, all that. Well, QBERT, solid performer for Atari 2600. I played it safe today and didn't try anything stupid jokes. It's not my night for those. Maybe I'll go record some wrestling after this. Alright, have a good night. Solid game, QBERT for Atari 2600, whether you're in difficulty A or B. And that's what I think of QBERT. Alright, have a good night.